A parent-teacher meeting? No, they turned it into a courtroom and put my family on trial. But this isn't just my story. It's a mirror of how LGBTQ+ families are still judged in 2025. I know I'm not like other moms, not because I'm clueless or incapable of raising a child, but because I'm a lesbian mother. And for many people, that alone is enough to make them question or even dismiss the way I parent. I've learned to stay quiet when strangers at the grocery store stare a second too long, or when whispers follow me through the school gate. But I never expected that even a parent-teacher meeting, a place meant for constructive dialogue, would become a space where my family is put on trial. That day, I wore a muted pink blouse, the one my child always says is "so mom." I kept my makeup minimal, tied my hair neatly. I wanted to show that I care, that I respect the school. But the moment I walked into that room, the first look I received wasn't welcoming. It was stunned, scanning me from head to toe like I had stepped into a courtroom, not a fourth-grade classroom. The vice principal sat at the center of the table. Beside her were the homeroom teacher and a man from the school's counseling office, someone I had never met. When I introduced myself as the parent, he squinted slightly, as if to ask, "And exactly who are you in the relationship?" I smiled politely and replied, "I'm the mother of my child, and that's enough." The meeting started with a few polite phrases, but quickly turned toward comments about how my child seems distracted in class, often daydreaming, and not interacting much with peers of the opposite gender. The phrasing felt oddly specific, not because I denied any of it, but because of the way those observations were emphasized, as if they were trying to draw a line between them and our family structure. "I've noticed they don't really talk about their mom in class," the teacher said. "They tend to avoid bringing up family." I nodded gently and said, "Maybe because they've been teased before for saying they have two moms." No one responded. The silence in the room wasn't one of empathy. It was one of judgment. Then came the question that froze me. "Do you think growing up in a family like that could affect a child's gender identity or emotional development?" the counselor asked. "A family like what? One without a man? One where love doesn't follow a traditional formula?" I answered directly, "I believe what hurts children isn't having two moms or two dads. It's being told that their family is wrong. If you're wondering why my child might seem withdrawn or anxious, ask how many times they've had to explain why they don't have a real dad, and how many times that answer was met with laughter." I looked each adult in the eye. I wasn't trying to argue. I just needed them to understand that this meeting had veered away from education and into the territory of bias, where concern is used to mask discrimination. What's ironic is that many of the people in that room probably consider themselves advocates of women's rights. They champion freedom of choice, independence in marriage, empowerment. But when faced with a single lesbian mother, those values seem to vanish, as if autonomy is reserved for women who fit a certain mold. It made me wonder, is modern feminism only for women who live within the lines? My child is in 4th grade, loves drawing superheroes, building Lego cities, and baking cupcakes with me. One time I asked, "Do you ever feel weird about having two moms since it's not like most kids?" They answered, "No, it just means I get double the love." That sentence alone is what carries me through 100 skeptical stares a day. The meeting ended with a vague promise to continue monitoring and provide emotional support if needed. No one apologized. No one acknowledged that the judgment in that room was the real source of harm, not our family. I walked out as the school bell rang and children poured into the hallway, laughing, unfiltered, free. I wished adults could be more like them, because sometimes it's the grown-ups who make the world unsafe. Society keeps saying it wants to create a better environment for children, But if that environment is built on assumptions about what a real family should look like, then how unconditional is that love? I'm sharing this not to vent, but to speak up for those who remain quiet, for the LGBTQ plus parents who must prove every day that their love is enough. If you've ever felt like you had to apologize for your child having two moms or two dads, don't. You're not wrong. Society is for making you feel that way. You're watching Accent of Strength, where real stories are told with courage. If you believe love doesn't need permission, subscribe and join our journey. Leave a comment. What do you think lies behind meetings like these? What can we change for our kids and for ourselves?